Former CNN anchor and independent journalist Don Lemon was taken into federal custody following his involvement in covering a protest that disrupted a church service in St. Paul, Minnesota. The incident stems from a demonstration that took place earlier this month at City's church, where activists entered the building during a worship service to protest what they claimed were ties between the church's leadership and U.S. immigration and customs enforcement. The protest, which quickly became tense, drew national attention due to the presence of several journalists live streaming the events, including Lemon. On the day of the protest, demonstrators moved into the sanctuary while the service was underway, chanting and confronting church leaders and congregants. Law enforcement later described the action as a coordinated disruption that interfered with the right of worshipers to freely practice their religion. Lemon was on site documenting the protest in real time, broadcasting interviews with participants and others present, and providing commentary as events unfolded. He has consistently maintained that his role was strictly journalistic and that he did not participate in or encourage the protest itself. Federal authorities later began investigating the incident, focusing on whether those involved violated civil rights laws related to access to places of worship. Several individuals connected to the protest, including activists and other journalists, were swept into the investigation. While earlier efforts to bring charges reportedly faced legal hurdles, prosecutors ultimately obtained an indictment that led to Lemon being taken into custody. Lemon was arrested in Los Angeles, where he had traveled for professional commitments, by federal agents late in the evening. His attorney confirmed that the arrest was connected directly to the Minnesota church protest and criticized the government's actions as an overreach that threatens press freedom. According to the defense, Lemon's live streaming and presence at the protest were protected activities under the First Amendment, and treating routine news gathering as criminal conduct sets a dangerous precedent for journalists nationwide. Government officials, however, have argued that the case is not about journalism but about alleged participation in actions that disrupted a religious service and infringed on the civil rights of congregants. Authorities have emphasized that the investigation centers on conduct, not speech, and that journalists are not exempt from the law if they cross certain legal boundaries. The Justice Department has so far declined to publicly detail all of the charges, but has indicated that the matter will be pursued in federal court. The arrest has sparked significant debate among media organizations, civil liberties advocates, and legal experts. Press freedom groups have expressed alarm, warning that criminalizing the act of documenting protests could chill reporting on controversial or politically sensitive events. Others argue that the case highlights the increasingly blurred line between activism and journalism in the age of live streaming and social media, raising complex questions about responsibility and accountability. As Lemon prepares to appear in court, the case is expected to attract widespread scrutiny and could have broader implications for how journalists operate at protests, religious institutions, and other sensitive locations. Supporters see the prosecution as an attack on free press principles, while critics contend that journalists must still adhere to legal limits even while reporting. The outcome of the case may ultimately help define how far press protections extend when reporting intersects with civil rights and public order concerns.